As we spoke to, so to speak. So it was refreshing to be able to share these conversations with someone who was in that same echelon as me. We shared solace in the fact that my father and his stepfather died at almost the exact same point in time during COVID. We shared our frustration and angst about online melee, and we should talk to people, should talk to us, for better or for worse. Although we didn't speak as often as we did when we were teenagers or in our early 20s, I'll always remember the fact that I did get to have one last conversation with him in person in Mexico at S Factor. While we were warming up for our top 8 matches, I shared coffee with him as him and I spoke of the state of the community, the band, and how much things had changed. I remember him thanking me for letting him play in the Melee coin box while it existed, even though we complained about controllers after the fact. I remember us joking about how drunk Mango was getting during the entire bracket too. What I remember the most about the conversation was just how happy he was to be back at a tournament. It really put a lot of things into context. He even told me, I don't want to be a burden on you or anyone else. I just want to play again. I'll always regret not being braver for him, especially near the end. For not speaking up louder out of fear. He stood up for me when the world was against me. So I hope to one day to be as brave as he was when it comes to the people that I care about too. If Aziz can hear me now in the afterlife, just know your life and your actions won't be in vain. And I vow to you, to his family, to his friends, that I'll do whatever I can to make the community at least a better place, so we never have to suffer a loss of someone like Hacks ever again. For Aziz, I love you. Rest in peace, my friend.
Thank you very much, Hungrybox. And for everyone at home, I apologize about the audio issues. We're a small funeral home. We're trying to figure out these things, this boomer technology. Up next is someone else who is very dear to Aziz, someone you may know, you too, Ken? Oh, Ken, more time. Of course, you passed every time. So anyone else that wanted to speak? Okay. I saw him stand up.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is David Campanico, also known as D.A. Dave, terminally Papa Dave as well. I've been playing with Melee since the very, very beginning. So many of you may not know me, but it's really, I've known Hacks since really the beginning. I just really want to share some words from my point of view. So today we gather here with heavy hearts to remember a dear friend, a fierce competitor, a true icon in the Smash community, a son, and many known to all of us as, of course, Hacks Money. There's a little something that goes between the Hacks Money, but I'm not going to say it. Hacks didn't just play Melee. He lived it. It was more than a game to him. It was a calling. It was a craft. It was a place where he could express his passion, his intelligence, and his unmatched drive. Sadly, the very thing that gave him, so much purpose was taken from him by circumstances I won't get into today. But I will speak on what he gave us. His grit, his determination, his charm, and his genius. My story with Hacks goes back more than 20 years. He showed up to the very first Smash for Cash I hosted in New York City. Back then in a packed place called Neutral Grounds. Let me hear the OGs say Neutral Grounds. He was just 10 years old, a little kid playing Pink Captain Falcon, eager to play with everyone. That day, like all of our first days, he was humbled. But something lit up in him. I saw it, DA saw it, New York City saw it, and we all knew something big was coming. But you could just see it in his eyes. I remember that. You see it in that screen, right? We see it in that screen, that Hacks face that he gets when he plays, right? Mm-hmm. He came to every single NYC local after that, never missing almost any of them. I watched his rise firsthand, especially during that era when New York City shifted from Neutral Grounds to Webtoon Zone. I remember that's where he won his first tournament. And from then on, he became a player where people feared. So the last time we spoke, his charisma, his funny character, was always present. He still makes fun of me to this day for showing up to his house with the bootleg controller. There's a free bomb and everything, right? Bootleg, Amazon, you know what I'm talking about? Just cracking on me because I had the fakest controller ever, right? This is just about a month ago. But years later, after the documentary came out, a lot of us got together at his apartment. We talked about the game, his goals, his hunger to be the best. But even then, when he wasn't able to play the game the way he wanted, due to his hands, right? His perseverance would bring us all the box and allow him to continue chasing that dream. Hacks was the people's champion. Always. Again, Hacks was the people's champion, and he will remain that forever. Because of Hacks, I bought a box, and because of Hacks, I learned Fox. Hacks, I'm heartbroken that this is where your story pauses. But I know this isn't your final destination. You gave your all to a game you loved, and in doing so, you inspired an entire generation of players, friends, and fans. You carved out your place in Smash, albeit gaming history, not just with your hands, but with your heart. Rest in peace, Hacks. We will never forget you. I will never forget you. And until we meet again, rest in peace.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rael. My tag is Itemhog, and I'm here to speak about some of the amazing contributions that Hacks made to New York City Melee. In 2019, despite there being hundreds of Melee players in New York City, there were no tournaments, and that's because the cost of renting a venue space in New York City that can support many CRT setups is just way too expensive for a small grassroots game like Melee. So Hacks partnered with Altimore to come up with a way to run the Wii with flat screen monitors, and then he worked with a gaming lounge to actually host the event. So it overcame the cost barrier to hosting Melee in New York City, and that was, he basically saved Melee because there was like a full year where, or more than a year, where there were no tournaments in New York City. So that was a huge contribution. And not to mention the contribution he made with all of the R&D that went into making the box. I was grinding Fox Tech still in COVID, and I hurt my hands because I was grinding way too much. And I was really lucky that the box had already came out, and I was able to switch before I developed permanent damage to my hands. So, and he gave outstanding customer service to everyone who purchased the box. He was always there to answer questions. He was really responsive when people had any issues with orders. If someone's box motherboard failed, he just replaced it, So he was really, really great for New York City. And we are very grateful to him for what he's done. And it's a shame that he was banned by people who, let's be real, can't even wave shine. He really should have. We should have let him back in, because the good that he did for New York City was so much greater than making a couple of cringy videos. We shouldn't be ostracizing people who make a mistake. Hacks treated everyone very well. He was very supportive of competition, and he was fostering a community where people could be themselves and could speak freely. And he always spoke very well of his fellow competitors. And he was just a really great guy. And it's really unfortunate that we lost him, because it's a huge loss. All of this knowledge that he had about the game, that can't be replaced. So, Pax, thank you very much for everything you've done for Melee. Thank you for what you've done for me in creating the box. And we'll never forget you.
Is there anyone else that has any stories that they'd like to share with PAX? Yeah. Okay, I see you. I also saw two of you over there as well.
Deep breath, deep breath. Hello, everyone. My name's Haas, Andrew, Haas, doesn't matter. Something that I really wanted to come out and say about Aziz is that no matter who you were, as long as you played Melee, that guy loved you. That guy loved you from the bottom of his heart. You could be the most random player, the most nobody, nameless person on the planet. Hacks would sit down and just talk to you about the game, about anything. I remember the first time I met him was SmashCon 2016 or 2017, eight-ish years ago. Nobody. Tour. I could not play the game. He just destroyed me, bodied me. I was playing Ganon at the time, and the best Ganon at the time was Kage. And jokingly after Hacks just beat the ever-living snot out of me. I was so between me and Kage, what do you think? And then with the serious, just most deadpan delivery, he goes, "You're better." From that day, I knew I made a friend. I knew I made a lifelong friend that I could talk to whenever about the game, about my life, about anything. And I was just a nobody, an old tour. And he was like that with every person that he got into contact with over the game. He would joke with you, you were his friend, you were his family, and he loved you to death. When I came out randomly to see Tempo a long time ago, 2020 or 2021, around that time, this was right after his ban, he shows up, buys us all coffee and donuts, and then hands us all a 1.13 memory card and tries to spit the gospel. And he was just like that till the very end, man. Till the very end. Shoutouts to Gimmer, Calvin here. He let Aziz come to his tournament, the last Xanadu. And I'm beyond grateful he did that. I got to see my friend one more time, shoot the shit with him one more time. Pardon my language, everyone, but that's really is what it was, just shooting the shit with Aziz Money. And the first thing he said to me was "Yo, dude, you gotta feel my leg. Feel my leg right now." Bro, such as cross-legged, right? And he's just "Bro, these TOs don't like me because I'm cosplaying Fox." To the very end, man. To the very end. So, just, Aziz, I love you forever. No matter where you are or where I'll see you again, I love you and rest in peace. And thank you so much for being my friend and everyone else's friend.
Speaker?
First off, I want to say shout out Red Adidas. Anyone who showed up wearing Red Adidas today, thank you very much. It's a big sign of respect, I feel. Hacks really love the Red Adidas. When we went there, his first day back on nightclub, being unbanned, he loved it. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. He pulled his pants down in the middle of nightclub, took down to his boxers, and pulled out a pair of Red Adidas and put it on. Straight in the middle, in front of the TOs, in front of everyone. And what happened is the TOs ended up banning the phrase Red Adidas from all of the Twitch chats. They banned anyone talking about hacks. They would not allow any discussion of it.
They banned all of us.
They what?
They banned all of us.
They banned everyone? I'm banned. I'm actually banned from nightclub. I don't know. They never told me. They just said you gotta go.
They never will.
It's indefinite. And I asked, and they said, I don't know. So, I don't know. I was known in the scene for being a bit of a troll. You know, as I'm sure many people here can relate. And I don't know, they banned me and kicked me out for nothing.
I'll put in a good word.
Thank you. So I wanted to come here to show respect to, I know Hacks would have loved the Red Adidas. I'm glad everyone came here wearing that. He loved it. It was always meant to be for him as a sign of we are his friends. We're here to talk.
Tribute.
It's a tribute.
Tribute. That's right.
And I don't support anything, any of these bans, anything like that. I think it's bullshit. So I wanted to come here for support, to support everything that I believe this was a completely preventable situation. And I thank you, everyone.
Alright, I don't have like a speech in my, it's all in my head, so this is gonna come off really authentically. First of all, my name is Ryan, or also go by Moon. Hacks in our history kind of really way back, probably like a decade. The first time I ever met him, it was at a D1 tournament, and my boy Jimmy was there as well. And I truly didn't know how to play the game or understand it at all. I didn't know who this kid was, and he just goes Donkey Kong, like hate shit on me. He actually fucks me up with Donkey Kong. I'm like, who the fuck plays this character? So I'm over here getting pissed off. I didn't know who he was. Everybody's laughing at me. Yeah, fuck him up, bro. He's stupid. He's dumb. And I'm like, way serious. And I like that energy because we from New York, you know? Like, it's that jungle energy. Yeah. So, I'm sitting there, and I'm here G1 cackling and shit, and I'm like, mad at him, but I'm seeing how amazing he's playing, and I go, you know what, from this day on, I want to try to be the best in the city, not knowing he was actually #1 in the city at the time. So I never told him this, and I never gave him his flowers, but the reason why I kept trying to compete as hard as I did to the day, until everything went down, was because of this man. We both live in New York City. In fact, I live like 40 blocks from him. We both live in Manhattan. We just happen to live in different neighborhoods. And, you know, similar events happen to us, but to show you that sometimes people can't take heat, and it was hard for him to take what happened to him. And, you know, I spoke to him and everything about his situation, because I was also going through the same situation. And I was letting him just keep your head up. And, you know, he was so determined to come back into the community, but I also gave him a word of thought is, don't try to go to places that you've never welcome to, because in the end, it might not be the best decision. And unfortunately, this is how it ended. But that doesn't mean he's gone. And I want to say to the two gentlemen, especially H-Box, thank you for having the balls to say what you said today. It takes a lot of courage to say that. As a man, you truly are a man for saying that shit. I'm sorry for posting that, but that's real New York City energy, he remembers. And I appreciate his mother and his father. She would let us come to the house all the time, let us play. There's not a lot of mothers in this world that is invested in their children's endeavors or whatever the fuck they want to do in life. And she was the one. That's a true fucking mom. She was always there. If it wasn't for Hacks, I promise that there would be no more practicing day in and out, being a fucking fiend, prior to studying his videos, trying to figure out how he perfected his shit. He's very cerebral, he's very fucking strategic. I know people will always make fun of him at times when he talks, very monotone, but he knew what the fuck he was saying. He's not crazy. It's just he didn't know how to handle the pressure, and he needed people to be around him. It's never too late to still support. But please, sometimes people don't know how to take things. You have to watch what you say, watch what you do, and all this truth and what everybody just accept him, especially New York City. This is his only town. You gotta treat your bloods like they're your family. I don't know how to remember too long, but thank you everybody that showed up across the world from East Coast, West Coast. Thank you, Jason, thank you, H-Box. He truly loved y'all. He loved a lot of people. And I know people may think that he's his friends, but he only had very few friends, very few families, but he had a shit ton of fans. And that's where we mistake those fucking three F's. Friends, friends, and families. He had a lot of friends. He had very little friends and very little family. So please, you never know who's going to be the next person. Every time I come back here, I always think, I'm never coming back to this place. And I wind up back here to give somebody the flowers before it's too fucking late. First it was Erica, and not a lot of people know this, but I had a small circle that was also close to him. So I know a lot of stuff, indirectly. And now it's Aziz. You don't know who's next. Just try to do right by people. And even stick up. Even when you fucking big, who gives a fuck? By the time you're 40 and 50 years old, you can't even play anymore. It doesn't matter. We love Aziz, God bless. Former Spanish people, we will still need them.
My name is Jason. My tag is Rusty. I only knew Aziz for 3 years, but during that time I got to know his passion, his grit, his intelligence, and his respect for his fellow attendee. Didn't matter your skill level, didn't matter how much time you had in the scene, it didn't matter who you knew. If you were interested in Smash, Hax was interested in you. And I always respected that about him because in a scene that's as tight-knit as we are, connections matter, but Hax was always willing to extend those connections and introduce new people into his life. And what I've gathered from everything that's happened since Aziz's passing is that he hasn't passed. He lives in all of us and how we view our lives and how we view the game. His passion, the way he analyzed things, the way he broke down situations and problems and solved things, the way he put his passion into his product with the box and 1.03 and UCF and all the different projects that he was involved with, the different engineers in the scene. He really spread his love and his passion for what he did, and I think that extends into all of us. And even though we may never get the chance to speak to Aziz again, we'll all continue to interact with Aziz as long as we keep what he did in our heart and continue to interact with each other. And I'm going to miss talking to him the most, for sure. Just being able to hit him on Discord any time of day and just get a response like that.
always. So that's all. It's been a painful last weeks, but getting closer to everybody here, we are united in our grief, and going forward, I think we will prevent this from happening again, and we can look on to the legacy of Hacks and say that this was someone who gave it his all and never stopped caring and never let what others say about him stop him from caring. And I just want to put that into my own life. I never got anywhere near as good as him, but just seeing how much he cared makes me want to just try harder at everything that I do. So that's how Hacks inspired me. And as a friend, he also inspired me to make new connections and meet new people and try new things, because that's also something that I really respected him for. Rest in peace, Aziz. I hope I see you in another life.
I want to take a moment to thank all of you for coming up and speaking. It can be really nerve-wracking, pouring your heart out in front of everyone. Double the fact that God knows how many people are watching, restreaming the restream, and so forth. We still have plenty of time. Is there anyone else who wants to speak? Okay, I see you right there, and I saw you as well. Enough people to give YouTube King enough time to hold his thoughts. Well, we'll save the last, but that's for last. That's all right. So I just want to start out by saying that should probably speaking to the mic, but I'm not very good at eye contact when it comes to like very intimate moments. My family's always had a lot of fighting, drug problem involved, and Aziz has always treated me like a equal for as long as I can remember. I think I met him when I was like 17 years old. Just being like, same thing, the way I saw him, I saw like Hungry Box Mango, all like the same. Like, I just really admired these guys. I wanted to be like them one day. And I know a lot of people are like, the natural emotion to feel is sadness, but personally I feel an anger unlike anything. And I don't really, I've been telling all my friends this, I have no idea what justice looks like in this scenario, but I just want to see it. I don't know what that looks like moving forward. I feel like I could have done so much. I did what I could. I spoke to him as long as I could. I'm just so glad to see everyone here. I wish it could have been under better circumstances, but it means everything to see Juan here. It means everything to see Jason here. It means everything to see you here, man. I don't even think you remember me, but I always DM'd you. Like, everything you did was for him. I don't know why people just couldn't. I'm so glad everyone's here. I'll always miss you, Aziz. I wish I could have done more. I love everyone here. I wish I could have done more. And that's all I really have to say. Thank you.
Public speaking. So, my name is Daniel. I go by Dick Dart. I don't know Hacks like that, but I was always a fan of, the Hacks Money combos and on YouTube. And I finally got to see him in Xanadu last year. So it was really nice to, sorry, I'm really not good at this, but when the videos dropped, I was talking to my mom about like what happened and what went wrong. And when me and my mom were talking, my mom's gonna kill me if I curse. She's gonna be in the car and be like, "Get away." So I apologize for what I said, but it's some real shit. So I was in a similar scenario to Hacks, and not as big as Hacks, but I am from MDBA, and I was banned from 90% of the locals there. And you can, they don't understand who you are. And people don't know who you are, and it sucks when you get pushed away and they ban you for no reason. And all you want to do is play the game, and my mom knows, because all I do in my bed is cry, and because it's so hard to get a job, all I want to do is play the game, and everybody in my local scene just doesn't care. They make up lies and say that I did something wrong and we didn't, and it's so hard to ignore. All I have is Smash. All I have to do is just play Smash. And I just can't do anything. And I have to quit this stupid game because nobody cares. And I can't move forward because I just love this game, and seeing Hacks here in this casket just fucking it pisses me off because nobody fucking cares, and he's just talking real shit and nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking cares about this shit, and everybody just turns to the side and just says, oh, he's delusional. No, man, he's talking to his heart. He's speaking from his heart, and nobody cares. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I just want to say that I'm gonna miss you, Hacks, and que te veo pronto. I'll see you soon.
Let me reiterate, it's really, really, really difficult being up there pouring your heart out. So don't ever apologize. Not every speech has got to be perfect, well-timed, poignant. Yep. Sometimes you cry. Sometimes you could do nothing but curse. This is not supposed to happen. I may not know anything about the scene, but from what I'm seeing right here, it seems like everyone is on the same page with how they feel, how they're hurt, how they don't feel like justice has been served. So all we can do is remember this, remember these lessons, and keep moving forward. Again, we still have plenty of time. I did see a couple of other hands. Is there anyone else who would like to come up here?
Hello, everyone. Some people in this room know me. My name is the Mandalord. I host events for band players like Hacks. I invited him every time, unfortunately. His goal was to get back into the main community, and he did not reach that goal, and I'm sorry for that, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to help you. We all know what the golden rule is, but the real golden rule is do what you like as long as you do not impose your will upon other people. Hacks had the will of other people imposed upon him. I had the will of other people imposed on me, and several other band players in this room have had the TO's wills imposed upon them. As long as you do not impose your will on others, you should be able to plug in and play. The whole point of this game was to unite people. Hacks was a proponent of that. He should have stayed plugged in. He should be plugged in right now, and we should all be together, but we're not. Hacks, we're all going to miss you. Everybody feels the same way. We love you, and we hope that what's happened here today will change things, so this never happens again. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lynette, and I am the sister to DJ Nintendo and Samo. I knew Aziz when he was about 13 years old in my home, and we would host these amazing melee parties, and my mother at first would get annoyed because we would take over the living room. And we had all these controllers, and it was super fun. So shout out to the moms who were super supportive. And so I saw him when he was only a little boy growing up, but more than just playing the game, and just listening to all of you share, something that really resonates with me is this idea of community, this idea of brotherhood, and just how when someone is weak and someone is hurt, it really affects the entire community. And so if we've learned anything, I think it's that we are to be more mindful and more caring of each other. And I want to share with you a passage of scripture. I am a person of faith, and this is in the context of a spiritual community, but I think it's applicable to us today, and I'd like to read and share it with you. This is from Philippians chapter 2 in the Message translation, and it says, "If you've gotten anything at all out of following Christ, if his love has made any difference in your life, if being in a community of the Spirit means anything to you, if you have a heart, if you care, then do me a favor. Be agreeable with each other, or come to a common ground. Love each other. Be deep-spirited friends. Don't push your way to the front. Don't sweet talk your way to the top. Put yourself aside and help others get ahead. Don't be obsessed with getting your own advantage. Forget yourselves long enough to lend a helping hand." And if I believe that if Aziz was here, he would want all of you to look out for each other. Because that is the common thread that we keep listening, every single person, with emotions, with anger, that we would truly come together and leave our petty stuff aside and not be wrapped up in cancel culture. Because guess what? We all make mistakes. There is nobody perfect. Even as a person of faith, I make mistakes every day. I think things that I'm not supposed to think. And I know that I'm not perfect. And so I would want someone to relay grace to me, to be loving to me, to restore me back into the community and not cast judgment. It's so easy to do that, especially on social media. And so I want to encourage you to show your face for real, not just on Facebook, not on X, or any other platform, but that if you have something to say that really affects you, that you would be emotionally mature to speak to that person. But do it out of the context of wanting to restore the person, looking for the best interest of the other person, not just to see their demise. Because to see their demise is evil, and that's not part of humanity. And so I love all of you, and I hope that you have
Are you ready?
I've actually never done this, so I have no idea how. I was actually on the phone, looking at notes I was writing, and my mom was like, "You're on stream, get off the phone." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Well, wait for me. Okay. So, I want to start off by saying Aziz was like a very close friend of mine, so much to the point that I was actually planning to unretire Melee under the condition that he gets unbanned. But I haven't told anybody this. And I told him this months ago, so if I had seen this coming, this outcome at this time, I actually would have made very different decisions. I tried to speak up. Obviously I could say I wish I did more. I would have done this sooner had I predicted the future more accurately. I feel like I should have seen the signs. I wish more people joined in, but hindsight's 20/20. Anyone can say that after you already know the outcome, so that's just how that is. I have some pretty cool stories of Aziz that are pretty funny, although I don't know if I should say them. I'll just say them when I screw it. It was like the Bible of Melee back in, the round days, So I would go over at his house a lot because he lived nearby, and we would be playing Melee like before the tournament, and then I would actually go to the tournament, and I'd be fighting like Mango, Hungrybox and stuff. We fight in the grand finals. One of the tournaments I fought Hungrybox in the finals. Sorry for the Flames. So I beat him in the finals, and then right after the Flames aren't about it. The Flames are coming soon. He paid my flight here, by the way. It's hard to return a favor. Anyway, so I was at Aziz's house, and we were playing we were playing Banjo-Tooie because his favorite game is Banjo-Kazooie. And we were doing that instead of practicing Melee. And because of, so then he looks at me and he's like, yo, wanna get high? Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do it. And so we got super high. And then I got like super dizzy. I was like, everything was like now. Like if you ever have glasses, you take them off, that's what around me looked like. Well, you can't tell unless you can't see. I have like 24 vision. But anyway, and it was like, we were playing Banjo 2, and we were on the border, and we were playing this guy called Gordon Fock. And he's one of the bosses in that game, right? So we just kept losing him over and over because we were high and sucked. And we just looked at each other. I just looked at him and he's like, yo, Lord Fox harder than $100. I'll never get rated again. It's over. I wanted to say that because it's very funny. No, on a serious note, I was actually planning to move back. Besides on retirement, I was actually planning to move back to New Jersey. One of the reasons was actually to visit him more. He would come to my house back and forth. I was also going to team up in my tournaments, and I really thought that like the plan we had, I thought it was going to be good. Everything was going to be fine. Danny, I also tried to tell him there was so much more to life than just Melee tourneys. Like these small posture cheats, you already have a scene that supports you on Twitch. You can just play whatever game you want. And I was just thinking, like, you already made it in life. You can just play games. I thought you loved Banjo Kazooie, like this and that. Like you can even play Melee like this. Who cares about the in real life? Don't get me wrong. I of course care about it, but that's not everything in life. There's so much you can do. So many more games, so many more things you can do. And I always tried my best to like try to put that, but to him it was everything. And I try my best, and it's easy to say could do more, but I wish more people did more. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Another fun story. When he was before he named Fox, like after Falcon, he was like deciding between the space animals. So we were playing some friendly stuff and decided which character. So I was just playing Mewtwo, just messing around. And there was only one single game. I forced Doc him to stop with Mewtwo, and he looked at me right after that match. He said, "The Hex Montato is no more." Just like that. And from that moment, it really was no more. He literally only played Fox after that. Well, I guess I helped his career out. I really hope if heaven exists, that he goes there. And I really hope, like as a community, we can never let this happen again, man. I'm gonna be straight. We can never let this happen again. Why is that your purpose?
People like negativity. That's why.
Maybe they do. I don't. What's the point of living life just to be negative and bring other people down? You got a few likes. Are you happy about that? You got what does that do? When you're being judged in the afterlife, do you think God cares that you got a few more likes, or did they see the intention behind what you did? So think about that.
Thank you, Music King, for lightening the mood, but teasing Hungry Box. Get the poor guy up for us. Your money back. That works. I told you I was doing my homework. We got time for 3 more speakers. Okay, you two had your hands first, but you had it up first, so if you'd like to come up.
These guys need to talk first.
Hi guys, my name is Carrie. I go by Bro. I didn't know Aziz closely as a friend. To me, he was a peer. I really do wish I got to know him as well as you guys, and I'm really thankful you guys have come here. I want you guys to think back to the first time you played Super Smash Bros. Melee. It's a very special game. When I first started it was a very different kind of community. We played in each other's basements, and the only thing we cared about was getting better. In fact, one of the best sayings back then was no Johns. And I feel like we have lost this mentality, and we've lost kind of the picture. They have another commentary saying, which is, whoever wants it more will win. And Aziz always wanted it. You can tell from the number of hats he wore. I mentioned to him, you guys, he appeared to me because not everyone in the community wears as many hats as he did. He was a player, a TO, he was an innovator of the game. There were times where it was dark in Melee's history, and there was the revival of Melee, there was UCF. There were many, many moments. New York, to me, represents a stronghold for Melee. Aziz was a key pillar in the history, an unmistakable mark in it. I see a lot of you guys have so much emotion with him, and as I said, to me, he's a peer, he's a symbol. He knows more about the game than anyone in this room, maybe barring Jason. People have said we've lost so much knowledge, we've lost so much heart. We have lost someone very young, and someone who loved the game more than anyone in this room. And I want everyone here to remember the final messages he had in his videos, which was to carry on the love of Melee. There's been doubt about the game. A lot of us are getting older. A lot of us are trying to figure out what to do in life. It was never Plush and Grim. It was always Melee. Forever. Thank you.
I got a key.
Talk about it. Just really quickly, first off, I just want to offer the most sincerest condolences to Hax's mom. My name is Kwabena. I go by Kubu to many of you. Part of the Deadly Alliance team. We've been in the community for quite some time. Honestly, probably definitely since its inception. We heard from Dave earlier, Papa Dave. Over here is Wes. And I mean, the big thing, just again, from the whole DA team, our sincerest condolences to Hax's mom. And I want to thank all of you for coming out today. It's very clear to see how passionate Hax was when it came to this game, clearly, right? And a big thank you to the funeral home for putting on display all of his work, like literally his life's work on display. So thank you to them.
I know, unfortunately, it's cut short. And maybe he's staring down and saying, like, you know, he probably didn't accomplish anything, but in my opinion, he's accomplished more than probably a lot of people that's even alive. He has a loving family here. Fortunately, some people aren't as loving as we are here, but you know, he has all these accomplishments that, as you can see. And a lot of people can't say that. A lot of people cannot say that. I've known this kid since he was just a little, showing my age right here. But I've known this guy since he was like, what is it? How old was he? Like 12, 11? He was young, like to the point where I'm like, hold on, we got 8 years old at 12?
I want to put it this way. The reason why I didn't know him as well as many of you is because he retired me. No. We were holding a tournament,
And I'm a link player, so I'm already working with a handicap, and so we're doing the teams tournament, and I sit down, and I look over, and it's Hacks and J-Man, and I'm like, well, we playing against some kids, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, these kids are about to get mocked, and I'm sitting here getting like 3 and 4 stopped, and I'm like, you know what? This is a good time to leave the game. That's why I was leaving me. No, I got washed, but that was just like the first of many retirements, because you know how it is. It's like you put the game down, but you can't put the game down because I'm 42. I still play this game. I think that all that really is it goes to show that for us the game it's never really been about the game. Like the game is beautiful. It's a work of art. But what it really did is that it brought us all together. Like I still have a chat room with the rest of the DA, squad, and we talk every day. And we're always sharing these same memories, and we're always there for each other. And I know that in my darkest moments, I can like reach out to Wes. Or I could reach out to Papa Dave, and he could reach out to me, and and we that's a thing that we just know, because I've had them like over these last everyone's had a different experience since we call COVID and everything like that. Times have been tough, but I think the one thing that has been a recurring theme is that Smash has been there for everybody because it just brought us all together. I think one of the things that's just phenomenal is if you look in this room, every seat is filled up. There's not an empty seat here. Right. And if you look in the room over, you heard all of that laughter. Everyone was playing the game and watching videos of Hacks. Hacks he lives on. You're watching on pause is a video of him mocking somebody. You see that is the impact of the passion and the love that he had for the game, and that just lives on, and I am grateful for that. I am grateful for all of you for being here, and I'm going to turn it over to Wes in a second, but I think the really big thing is that, when someone is so passionate about something, the way that Axe was passionate about the game, about Melee, it takes a certain degree of just focus and tunnel vision and intensity to be able to accomplish what he accomplished. Considering he got to a point where he was injured and he was like, many people, a lesser person would be like, you know what, I'm done, I can walk. And he was like, you know what, I got something. And he creates a device to keep playing the game, which many people after him are enjoying the fruits of his, genius and labor. All the different things that he did to be able to make sure that he can keep enjoying the game and generations after him can keep playing the game. And to do that requires an intensity that I think many people can interpret incorrectly as, violence or, some kind of aggression or something, he was a very outspoken individual. And that was his truth. And I think sometimes there are many people who are not ready to handle the truth. And because of that, you can very quickly be ostracized. And when you try to separate someone from their purpose and their mission, things can go south very quickly. And unfortunately, we are seeing the effects of that. And so, long story short, I was going to hand it over to Wes, but I just want everyone to know that follow your truth, follow your passion, and always know that you are not alone. You always have someone that has you. And if that's something that you don't believe, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm here, all right, and Wes is here. So in your darkest days, we're here. Smash Ultimate, everyone is here. It's that's what this is. You feel me? We're here. Right?
We're here. And so we're here. Thank you all for being here.
And again, thank you to Hax's mom, because it was mentioned earlier, but I remember I had days where like I'd go to Wes's and his mom welcomed us with open arms. She was like, okay, she cooked food. This was Lower East Side smash back in the day. You see what I'm saying? What's that? And so I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, because you know, one of the things is that we could have been out on the streets getting into some real bad ish, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, for you to welcome players into your home with open arms, thank you.
Now, the question is, how do we honor Aziz? I know how you talked about friendship and just being together and looking out for one another. How do we do that? I believe that one of the ways we could do that is, like I said a while ago, as a friend, you check your friend, check on your friend. Not only check on your friend, but check your friend if they're doing wrong. And another thing is, look after your friend. If they need some help, stand up for them. Because what are we here for? What are we doing? Yeah, you go to work, you make money, for what? To support your family. What's the point of doing all of that if you're going to turn your back on somebody? What's the point? Which is why, you know, me, myself, and others, you know, we try to look after Aziz, no matter how anybody cared about him. And if anybody knows me, and you're close to my heart, I'm going to look after you. Pardon my language, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about that. And that's the whole point. Same thing with Aziz. He put his life on the line for this game because he wanted to build relationships and friendships with everyone. He didn't give a shit about the money. He didn't care about that. I was with him during the creation of nightclub before it even happened. We went to, a bunch of different like, industry parties, talked to a lot of these people to try to get them to get different equipment and stuff like that in OS. And eventually, you know, he was able to get it popping. And the cool thing about it is that with all his hard work, he was able to get, in my opinion, one of the biggest melee tournaments, melee series, and I would say the world, because melee is a niche game. So to have a series like that every weekend, and I'm seeing how much money nightclubs are like, God damn, $24. Back in my days, we did that monthly. You guys are putting that much money a weekend? You guys are rich, you guys see what the hell is going on? So for him to pull something like that off, it was more than just people just coming to play melee. It was people trying to make, you know, foster friendships, make memories. Because at the end of the day, that's what it was all about in the beginning. That's how I met some of my best friends. Like this guy, Guadalupe right here. My boy Papa Dave, I don't know why the hell he's sitting all the way in the back, sitting up there. I can't come in, you're too short, man. We talk shit to each other, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, what I'm saying is that back in the days, it was the golden era. Now I wish you was back in the days with us, man. You sure you want to handle it though? No! Because we were talking, man. But that's generally how the community is. It turned from us being like friends, just shooting the shit, and building friendships, building a community, running tournaments, just doing stuff like that to people who. This is a dangerous word right here. No, it's not. It's idolizing people. I think that's one of the biggest downfalls of the community. Idolizing people and money. Yep. Once it got to that point, downhill. That's when it went downhill. Right. Fakeness, yes. And I don't give a damn who you are. I'm not idolizing you. I don't even want people idolizing me. Sometimes I'm like, people come up to me, what's up, Rex? What's going on, man? I'm your biggest fan. I'm like, all right, that's cool, but like, calm down. Like, I'm just a regular man. Like, you could be as good in the game. You could be just like me, whatever. But I think that's the biggest issue we have. Not only in just Smash, but I just think esports, the whole industry, period. I think Smash is different than a lot of, what is it called, gaming communities, because it's so niche, especially Melee. So I think one of the things we should do is try to be different from everyone else, is make ourselves more inclusive. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, more inclusive than exclusive. And I think that's another big issue, which kind of draw, Hacks to his unfortunate demise. And I hope this example of somebody who poured his blood, sweat, and tears into the community, but not everybody, like the main people, turn their back on him. This is an example of us trying to making our best to help a person come back, bringing a person back, looking after one another. Doesn't matter, put your neck on the line, because look at the freaking work this kid did. Again, I knew this guy since he was a freaking young boy, 12, 10, whatever. Look at all the work he's done. And a culture, he has his own culture. I know some people say, no, Hacks fucking money. That's a culture, bro. I did not understand it until I think a few years back how big his fandom is, man. I did not understand it until I saw it with my own eyes. But yeah, Fox, exactly. But I'm not gonna hold everyone too long. But again, this is a community. Remember that word, community. What do? You look after your community member as much as you can. As much as you can. Obviously, even if the person has done some kind of crime, everyone, depending on what it is, they're redeemable. They're definitely redeemable. So I hope if people take anything but this today, is look after one another. Please. Check up on one another. Please. Everyone needs it, man. That's the whole point of daily life. Daily life has nothing to do with the money. Nothing. It started out with us trying to just get everybody who's good at different characters so we could be well versed in matchups. But at the heart of it, we built a brotherhood to look after one another. And we still rock it to this day, whether we go to tournaments or not. We don't need tournaments no more because honestly, we elevated to something else. Something I hope and pray that everybody who's in the Smash Bros. Community could experience, such as myself, Guavana, and Dave. So, to Hacks fucking money.
Thank you for honoring Hacks' legacy.
Thank you, Hacks' mom, and thank you, Hacks Money.
Thank you guys for your kind words, and thank you for reminding me there's a 5 in front of my height. There we go. We got one final speaker with us tonight. Thank you. We have one final speaker before I bid you all farewell. So, technicals, would you like to come on up?
Oh, perfect height. Wow, thank you.
Yes. Short change, baby.
First off, thank you to everyone for not assassinating me on my I appreciate it. That was a concern. But also thank you to Mom Hacks, because without her I wouldn't have been able to make it on such short notice, so thank you. That is a real person. That's Hacks' mom. Get the camera over here. I see it's over there. Is the camera over here? Whoever's watching, that is Hacks' mom. She's a real person. Saw a lot of debate about that for some reason. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm blocked by half of you, so I'll only be grifting a little of your time today. As any solace, I'm not making any ad revenue off this appearance, but if you'd like to slip me a 5 on the way out, that is also acceptable. Thank you. Okay. Me and Hax first started talking to each other April 30th, 2021. I didn't know him as long as most of you, unfortunately. Wasn't a Melee player, I was a Smash 4 player, actually. I got top 10 in Las Vegas. Our top player tried to hit me with his car. Joker origin story, you can look it up, it's online. Yeah, I didn't start out this way, okay? You guys made me. At the time when we started talking, I was looking into the Skyhouse story, and I found out that Jisoo was his ex-girlfriend. Very relevant to that case. I don't see her in the audience, so I can only imagine she's using this as motivation for a new NFT as we speak. If you have a problem with anything's jokes, comedy is how I cope, okay, so how dare you? Unfortunately, things took a turn for the worst in June of that same year when he decided to upload his first video on Leffen. Evidence.zip 2. Show of hands, who thinks I ghost wrote that? Don't be shy, I don't bite. Is this a funeral? Alright, never mind. That joke bombed. Okay, sure, he'd expressed problems with the Melee community on call before, but not even I knew he was dropping a 2-hour and 30-minute video. Ruined my sleep schedule. Alright. No one raised their hand. You guys really just kneecap me there. Not one person. You're recording. You're my friend. Stop. I would sooner overdose on Fent than greenlight that video. And Hax, being the great man that he was, would not resign me to such a fate. Because ever since that day, he decided to become my confidant. His words, not mine. He really likes saying that. He'd run everything he did by me before deciding to do whatever he wanted anyways. Right. I'm dropping truth news. Get your refreshments. When he disavowed me on YouTube or on Twitter, it's because we decided that would be his best way of getting unbanned. We all know Smash players don't care about the objective rules. They don't care about being fair. It's all about optics. We're playing an optics game in the background, playing Game of Thrones, just to let this man play the game that he loved. And if I had to jingle some keys to make that happen, so be it. For 4 years, he'd share secrets, future plans, posts, grievances, you name it. When he told me, Tech, I got the vid that's going to change everything. Just watch this. I'd look at it, tell him, Hax, this is terrible. You can't upload this. Then he'd nod his head, agree, and guess what I'd see on my timeline a couple days later? If you knew Hax, you probably know what I mean. He was a very stubborn guy. But to me, that was his most admirable quality. Because no matter how many times we told him to move on, no matter how many people were against him, and no matter how many times he got knocked down, he'd always get back up. When his hands couldn't keep up with his insane tech skill, he said, and I quote, "Arthritis be damned. Give me the surgery, doc." Brought a tear to my eye. It's beautiful. And just like that, he was back on top of his game. It was like magic. I don't have a source for that quote, but I was there, trust me. Hell, the man even created a new controller, the box, that revolutionized the Melee community. Sure, people created knockoffs, his ex made a competitor's website, and his biggest offer relentlessly promoted it, but I'm sure that's purely a coincidence. Nothing to see here. Moving on. After all, we're all on the right side of history, unlike those QAnon conspiracy theorists. Hax loved Melee more than anybody in this room. There's no question about it. Our circumstances make that evidently clear. But there was something else that, to his own detriment, he couldn't seem to let go of. And that was the truth. So, in honor of his memory, let me tell you what he actually thought. Hax hated groveling for his unban from organizers he saw as corrupt and cruel. Hax
hated being gaslit into thinking that standing up to a bully was somehow wrong. Hacks hated being forced to live a lie just so he could live his life. But most of all, Hacks hated that the people he cherished and the game that he loved religiously for almost 2 decades had abandoned him so easily, mocked him relentlessly, and said absolutely nothing for years without so much as a second thought while signing his life away. I want to make something very clear, so I'll leave you all with this. I'm not here for any gushy reason like, oh, I love Smash. No. I'm here because Smash killed my friend. And while I pray Aziz rests in peace, like Nintendo, until this is fixed, I'm making it my job that they don't. Thank you. And make sure to pre-order a box and sign up to Mutual King's HelloFresh to get free breakfast for life.
Thank you, technicals.
Oh my God.
Thank you, everyone who came up here and spoke this evening. I gotta say, as an outsider looking in, as a funeral director, tonight was fun for me to watch everyone play, to watch everyone speak passionately about their friend. And this is why this is so horrible. It was so fun. We're reminiscing about the man. The man should be here today. Creating more memories, creating more love, dedicating more time to figure out something new about the game, teaching others, learning. No more though. I'd like to shift our attention to someone else though. A mother's love can never be overstated. I want to let you all know, when we were first contacted by Jeanette, she just wanted a private, somber ceremony. Seeing her son at the hospital was astronomically difficult. She couldn't do it. It was so hard. Seeing your child like that is impossible. And as a father, I completely empathize with the pain. The pain she's even going through now. She does not want to be in this room. She does not want to be doing this. But it was everyone's love, everyone's outpour of support, everyone's positive words, positive memories, positive everything about Hacks that caused her to reconsider. So she took this pain, she rolled with it, and she came to us with an idea of having a celebration of Aziz's life as opposed to a somber, quiet goodbye. I am safely going to say, from all of us, thank you so very much. Have a good night. Please say your final farewells to Aziz before returning to your vehicles. This does conclude our services for tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
I think he's
I